So, you're trying to figure out your marketing for 2026, right? Well, guess what? We've done the heavy lifting for you. We dug into what the most successful agents are actually reading and doing right now, and we've boiled it all down into one simple, actionable playbook. This is their strategy, and we're going to walk you through it. Let's dive in.
Let's be real, it is tough out there. The market is absolutely flooded, everyone is screaming for attention online, and it can feel like you're just lost in the noise. The number one challenge for every agent today is pretty simple, but it's huge. How do you actually get noticed by the clients you really want to work with?
And that's where we come in. We went straight to Inman, one of the biggest news sources in the industry, and we analyzed their 10 most popular, most read marketing articles of the year. And you know what? A really clear pattern emerged, a playbook for success. This isn't just theory. This is what the pros are actively doing to win right now.
Okay, before we jump into the nitty-gritty of social media posts or ad campaigns, we have to start with the foundation. Because the biggest takeaway is this. You can't just slap new tricks onto an old, broken strategy. It's time for a fundamental mindset shift.
And this quote right here from Jimmy Burgess, who wrote a ton of these top articles, just absolutely nails it. The market is always changing. And if you're still clinging to what worked 2 or 3 years ago, you're gonna get left behind. The real opportunities go to the agents who are willing to adapt.
So what does adapting actually look like? Well, this slide breaks down 5 huge shifts. First, stop making content all about yourself and start solving your clients' problems. So less "look what I sold" and more "here's how you can win a bidding war." Next, ditch the generic stuff and become a true niche expert. And hey, instead of chasing every shiny new app, the pros are just mastering 1 or 2 platforms. It's about going from being a secret agent to building a visible, trusted personal brand. And the big one? Stop just hoping for business to fall in your lap and start actively creating momentum.
And creating that momentum, it isn't some secret hack. It's all about discipline. It means you pick a handful of key marketing actions. Maybe it's making short-form videos, maybe it's a hyperlocal email, and you just do them consistently, week in, week out. That relentless consistency is what builds that compounding effect, that snowball of growth that just gets bigger and bigger.
All right, so you've got that solid foundation in place. Now let's talk about what you're actually going to say. Mastering your message is the next critical piece, and honestly, it's where so many agents completely miss the mark. This is about crafting communication that doesn't just get heard, it gets felt, and it makes people want to act.
Yep, here's that core idea again. And we have to hammer this home because it is that important. Every single piece of marketing you put out there, every email, every video, every post, it needs to pass one simple test. Is this about me and how great I am? Or is this about them and solving their problem? Now, think about this from your client's perspective for a second. They're probably stressed out, right? They're making one of the biggest financial decisions of their entire life. Honestly, they don't care about your rewards from 3 years ago. They care about whether you can make this incredibly complicated process feel simple and successful for them.
And here's a perfect real-world example of this in action. An agent named Josh Rees found that when he gave away all the information up front in a viral post, he actually got fewer leads. Why? Because he overwhelmed people. Your job isn't to be a data fire hose. It's to be a guide. You give just enough information to make them curious and want to take the next step.
Okay, so you've got your foundation, you've got your message, but I can almost hear what you're thinking. I don't have enough time for all this. Well, that's where technology, specifically AI, becomes your secret weapon. It's the engine that's going to create all the leverage and efficiency you need. I mean, just look at that. Seriously, let that sink in. An entire month of social media content, planned, written, and ready to go in about the time it takes to watch an episode of your favorite show. This isn't some far-off fantasy anymore. This is the power of AI, and for a busy agent, it is a total game changer.
And here's exactly how you do it. AI strategist Carrie Suave laid out this super simple 4-step process. First, you pick your main topics, like tips for first-time buyers or local market stats. Then you literally just ask an AI tool like ChatGPT to build you a 30-day calendar. Now, this next part is key. You refine it. You add your own voice, your own local stories. Then you just plug it into a scheduling tool and boom, set it and forget it.
But look, the crucial point here is that this isn't just about creating content faster. The smartest agents are using tech all across their business, from managing contracts to communicating with clients to remove friction. The real goal is to make the entire process smoother and more efficient for absolutely everyone involved.
All right, let's bring this all home. This is where the rubber meets the road. We've got the right mindset, we've got a client-focused message, and we've got the tech to make it all happen. So how do we turn all that into what really matters? A consistent, predictable flow of leads and closed deals.
Here is a perfect example of a system in action. Instead of just sitting around hoping a listing sells, top agents have a revival plan for when one starts to go stale. They dig into the data, they make smart tweaks to the price or the staging, and then they relaunch it with a whole new story and fresh energy. It's proactive. It shows your seller you're working your tail off, and it re-engages the entire pool of buyers. And to keep that funnel full, the pros are all focusing on depth, not breadth. That means instead of being mediocre on 5 platforms, you master one. You become the go-to expert on Instagram Reels for your neighborhood. You create video that answers the questions your buyers have before they even think to ask them. See the common thread? All these activities build trust, and trust is the ultimate lead generator.
So there it is, your whole playbook for 2026. And it really comes down to these 4 key pillars. It starts with rethinking your whole approach. Then, you master a message that's all about the client. You use technology to create insane leverage. And finally, you channel all of that into a supercharged sales funnel.
But look, none of this matters if it just stays as information. The whole point is transformation. So, looking at everything we just covered, I want you to ask yourself a simple question. What is the one small thing you will actually do this week to put one of these ideas into practice and start building your own momentum? Because that's where the real change begins.